Just on the topic of Triple M as well, and the last case study that you just presented, Mikael, exactly happened with me because I work a lot with brands and I'm doing performance marketing with them. So my question is, with all of the touch points that's already present, and I don't know which technologies are already present with the MMPs like Kochava right now, does it include out-of-home advertising, and does it factor in, and like, because it really does affect the IP or the brand, especially when you're doing brand protection, Apple Search Ads, for example. So to hone in and to really know the value of what we're getting, do you guys have the technology for that, and how do you compute for the overall value of it?
Yeah, so is the question, can we measure out of home? Is that, yeah. So the quick answer to that is yes. It's actually incredibly easy to measure out of home, and we do it for most clients. So as I was saying, if most of the model that we build for most of the clients that we have is 90% of it is based on digital advertising and their events within their app. Then on top of that, we just overlay various different other signals. So depending on the client, but if they do out of home, we would just simply need to know the dates where the out of home run. If they have the cost of that as well, then great, then the signal would pick up on it. I'll give a really sort of left field case study, and it's not relevant in terms of the industry, but I'll explain it anyway because it was quite interesting. We work for a very large taxi firm in North America. You can probably guess who, and we modeled their conversions and their sales, and we injected Taylor Swift tour dates into their model for last year, and the model was able to attribute about just under 5% of their sales were coming from Taylor Swift. So when Taylor Swift was in Texas, there was an uplift. When Taylor Swift was in Pittsburgh, there was an uplift. And the model could attribute against that, because effectively what an MMM model is trying to do is trying to correlate between your ad spend and the external factors and your sales, and that's it. And because the model had years and years worth of historical data, it could see that there was these little bumps that would normally go to Google and Apple, but our MMM model was basically attributing them to Taylor Swift. So we're now modeling Madonna, Guns N' Roses, and so on. That's not relevant probably for most of the people in this, but you can imagine for a rideshare, a taxi firm business is very relevant. So what can you do with that as a marketeer? Well, you now know, so that when whoever's touring next year, Killers, whoever it may be, they can maybe strategically change their creative, they can maybe pull back on spend on those days, so on and so forth.
So key takeaway is get closer to Taylor Swift.
I was going to say,
yeah.
I was going to say I should stop hiring machine learning engineers. I'm going to hire Taylor Swift.
I wonder what's more expensive. Well, I'm not wondering. I know the answer.
They're getting expensive nowadays.